right, well, we can get started. It is 8:30. Good morning, everyone, on a Friday morning, February 11th, a half-day Friday. Those are my favorite kinds, except for maybe June Fridays, right? Those might be a little bit better. So here we are, halfway through the third quarter of our year. And today I've invited Mrs. Mendonca to be with us and kind of explain, because a lot of us are going through parent conferences and we're finding out, some are finding out that our scholars are, well, almost all scholars are having to recover and of the learning that was lost and delayed over the time where we shut down and things slowed down somewhat. So I've invited her to discuss with us a couple of things. But for now, I've also, as usual, we have Mrs. Pullam, our chief medical technician, to discuss some things with us about the COVID, the pandemic, and where we are. You ready, Miss Chelsea?
I sure am. Good morning, everybody. So to start off, our cases, Paideia's cases.
Oh, wait, I forgot.
Oh,
okay. February 11th, today, progress reports go home. I don't know my own thing. Okay, progress reports are going home today. And then remember, everyone, March 7th through 11th is spring break. And then March 28th through April 1st is Nature Week. It's an annual event, our second one, which now makes it an annual event of Nature Week and tree planting. We'll have a great tree planting activity for the entire community to attend. We're mandating everybody to just come and wear a mask. But we need 8 holes dug to plant some trees. And then that whole week is filled with some wonderful nature activities organized by Mr. Chambers and Miss Garrison and our Lighthouse team. April is state testing. It's so crucial that everyone attends every day of April. They have a good night's rest. They have a protein for breakfast and good food to eat, not sugar. All right, there you go. Now, Miss Pullam, hallelujah.
all right. So again, this week for COVID, we, well, let me do a reminder first. Last week, we were at 0.24% positivity rate for scholars for testing positive for COVID. This week, we have had 0 scholars and 0 staff, which is beautiful. As well as the community, Maricopa County, we are down to 25.6%, which I believe is like 10% less from last week.
It was. It went down.
Yeah.
Nice.
So everybody keep doing what you're doing. Keep those masks on and stay healthy. Newly this week, we've started with Emory Women's Health. They'll be setting up a COVID testing site on Paideia's campus in the parking lot on the terrace side. Every weekend, you can go get tested for COVID from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. February 26th.
So sorry. Where's it going to be again?
It's going to be on, yep, just in the parking lot. And it'll be a drive-through. So you get in and you get out, and they'll contact you with your results. Perfect. February 26th and March 19th, I added a second event for vaccines. Wow. So it'll be a community event. Come out, get your COVID vaccines, get your flu vaccine, and bring your families, bring your friends, and enjoy our campus. Nice. And then lastly, March 18th, the dentist is coming for free teeth cleanings for our scholars. So on Wednesday, I believe I sent out on Dojo and Facebook the parent consent forms to fill them out online. And then Thursday, I sent them out in person. So your scholars should have given those to you. If you would like your scholars to get that free teeth cleaning, please fill those out and send them back with it so they can give them to their teachers, and we'll get that done for you all. And as for me, that's it.
Perfect, man. That's so awesome that you have two vaccination events, Miss Pullam. That, man.
Yeah, and we set it up just so you get your first one, and if you need to come back and get your second one, you know where to come.
Hey, do we know is there a way to know what our percentage of vaccinations are with our staff and students?
Right now, majority of our staff are vaccinated. I would say probably about like 90, in the 90s range percentage. And then as far as students, we are kind of low. I can say we have only about 22 scholars that have been vaccinated, or that I know of, who I've received their vaccination cards from. So if I can get more vaccination cards or copies, please send them my way so I can plug that into our system.
because parents, that's going to be a key indicator for us to know, can we start to, you know, until it's down below 10% per 100,000, we have to stay tightly masked up. But if we see that we have a 80% vaccination rate among our scholars, and the infection rate is lower than what it is right now, we can start to kind of relax some of the mask mandates and be able to take some of the activities inside, open up for community events and that kind of thing. So we want to really encourage that. All right, Mrs. Mendonca. I don't know if everybody knows Mrs. Mendonca.
I've only been here 10 years.
10 years, man. 10 years. Mrs. Mendonca and I have known each other for a lot of years, a whole lot of years.
Yeah.
And her expertise is on assessment and intervention and data analysis, and to know what interventions do we need to do to increase our growth and achievement. So I've invited Ms. Mendonca to explain to us the exact path and reading eggs, and how you at home can really accelerate and fill in some learning loss. All right, Ms. Mendonca, do you want to share your screen, or?
I don't have anything to share.
All right, let's just talk.
Go share me. So let me explain. We have two different programs. Reading Eggs is for our kinder, first and second grade scholars. And it is a program that focuses on phonics, and then those beginning skills to help them become fluent readers. And then as they start reading, there's actually, you know, it gets a little bit more in depth with them. So there's several different options when they get into Reading Eggs that they can choose. The teachers might have them doing fast phonics, some might have them doing the Reading Eggs, but they follow paths. Very cute program with their own fast phonics. They're Yetis and they're collecting gems. And if they're on Reading Eggs, they're collecting eggs as they go through the path. And that just means they've mastered a skill as they move on. So teachers have your scholars login information. They have the website. I know some teachers have little tags on their bags to help parents. You know, you're always welcome to email me and I can get you that information as well. But if they can spend at least 30 minutes a week in Reading Eggs, it would help tremendously. The more time they can do it, the more it's going to help. I've had teachers come to me and say, hey, my scholars that are doing this on a regular basis, they're starting to read. I'm starting to see so much improvement. Not only does it help the ones that are struggling, but it helps those kids that are already reading to excel even more, because it's going to challenge them and it's going to give them some a little bit harder activities. So Reading Eggs is for our little ones, and the kids seem to really enjoy it.
Mrs. Lopez give a shout out that she loves Reading Eggs as well.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Mrs. Mendonca, it popped into my head. We have Chromebooks, you know, that we check out for family use. Yesterday or the day before school, I was circulating down through the North Meadow where they're playing soccer and football. And there's this little dude sitting crisscross with his Chromebook open. And I just naturally surfed over. And you know what he was doing?
Is he doing Reading Eggs?
Doing Reading Eggs right in the middle of everyone. So I hugged up on that guy and I moved him over to where the tables are so he'd be safe. And I said, what are you working on? He says, I'm working on Reading Eggs. I got to get this. I got to get my time, or I got to get my, I can't remember exactly what he said, but yeah.
Well, a lot of teachers, you know, we recognize the classes each week that are spending their time. We call that being above the line on Reading Eggs and Exact Path. And we recognize scholars who are spending, you know, above and beyond what we require. I have a student, am I allowed to say a student name?
If we're bragging, maybe.
It's bragging, big time bragging. So there's a student in Miss Krista's second grade class that completed the whole fast phonics program, the whole thing. This is Samantha. Wow. I'll just do a first name. So we're going to do something special for her Tuesday, because that's amazing. We're a little over half a year and she's finished the whole fast phonics. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about Exact Path.
Okay.
So Exact Path, if you've been with us for a while, we did Exact Path last year. And this to me is just, it is an amazing intervention tool. So Exact Path is for all of third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. And if you have a sixth grade student, you've got to encourage those scholars to get on, because they tend to stop not wanting to do it as much when they get older, but they still need help. It's just like everyone else does. It's also for a kinder, first, and second grade for math only. So when they, the good thing about Exact Path is it takes our data, our benchmark test that we took in January, that MAP test that your students take, and probably when you're having your conferences, they're going over the data and it's showing you their growth. But I take that data and I dump it into Exact Path, and it creates a learning path that's individual for each scholar. No two kids will have the same path. And it's going to, it figures out, it's very intuitive based on their scores, what their areas of needs are, and that focuses on those needs. So it's filling in gaps for those scholars. And sometimes once those little gaps are filled in, man, you just see them take off, because it's like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. It's a very intuitive program. And like I said, so as they're going through the program, and please encourage your scholars to do the lesson first, then do the practice, and then the quiz. Sometimes they don't want to do the lesson, they want to jump to the quiz, but they need the lesson. They need to listen and help them relearn, or even maybe learn for the first time a skill. And as they go through, if they're getting them right, it's going to increase it and make it a little bit harder. But if they're still struggling, it's going to adapt, and it's going to drop it down maybe a grade level to help them understand at a different level. So I love the program, very intuitive. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they need to be doing 30 minutes a week in math, 30 minutes a week in reading, and 30 minutes a week in language usage. Very important. They're hitting all three areas. And then our K-1-2, we just started them in the last couple of weeks doing math. So they just need to get in there and do the math portion of it. So they're great. And they're also good though, Dr. Winsor, because we do have some, well, I think all of our scholars are bright. They're all smart. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, but we have some that they need to be challenged. And Exact Path will do that, because it's going to take their MAP scores and it's going to push them, and it's going to help them grow even more. So it's one of the best intervention tools I think I've ever worked with. I really like it if it's being used.
Yeah, and I've had some parents say that, well, I'm just going to take my kids over to Kumon, or I'm going to hire a private tutor and pay a bunch of money for a private tutor. But Ms. Mendonca, what is the benefit of Exact Path MAP? What's the benefit of that over if I want to spend a bunch of money on a tutor to come to my house? Or
to me, the biggest benefit is you're not spending money you don't need to be spending.
Exactly.
But it's, everybody, you need to save that money and use it where it's needed. But it is designed, it's already developed based on their test scores. And and then also teachers can go in and they can tweak it if they need to assign very specific skills. Teachers go in and assign things as well. I would encourage a parent, if you feel like, and I had several parents call and say my child needs tutoring, to sit down with your child on Exact Path and sit through a lesson with them, sit through the practice, sit through the quiz, and see how detailed it is. And you will see that they're getting just as much through this program as they would if they go and spend all this money. And that might, I'm not saying they wouldn't benefit, but this program's going to do the same thing.
Man, who has that money?
I don't.
I don't have that.
I want to retire in a couple of years. I don't do that. So
exactly, and I imagine too that I was just thinking about if I sat down with my kids when they were younger and went through the math ones, I might have refreshed on my own math.
No, definitely. They're very good lessons. It's research based, which is very important. So I just want parents to know we don't just pick a program based on, oh, that looks cute. It's everything that we're doing, they're research based, and we know that it works. And I can think of a fourth grade class right now who spent so much time on Exact Path before our winter benchmark test, and pretty much every child in that classroom was above. And it's an amazing teacher, a great interventionist, and on top of that, you have this additional intervention tool that's just helping to make a complete picture.
So let's ask this. It was in my mind to ask, but I think also Miss Maricela asked the question, what about 7th grade, 7th and 8th and 9th grade? What's for them, and why did we stop exact path at 6th grade?
Well, I will say if they're 7th, 8th, and 9th graders and they have they have a like a learning disability, and they're being worked with through our resource program, those scholars do have access to exact path, because we wanted to give them that extra as well. I think we decided to because as they got older, it's more of a struggle to get them to go on the computer and do the thing. So we just shifted it down to our elementary focus. I think in the liberal arts, and Dr. Winsor, you can certainly correct me, they have so many opportunities to receive tutoring from their teachers, the way their day is structured, and there's during their lunchtime, so they have that hour break at lunch. 30 minutes is more than enough time to eat and socialize, and then they have the teachers are always available to do that tutoring, that extra support that they need. So I think that's one thing that helps if they take advantage. And then
amazing over there.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then do they still have I can't think of the name of the
Khan Academy?
Yes, Khan Academy.
Yeah, Khan Academy is so amazing because it used to be pretty much math. Now Khan Academy has programs for reading and history and science, and it's free, and we have an account. So if you have a scholar over in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, Khan Academy is our intervention tool over there. We're analyzing it because Khan Academy also can take the data from our benchmarks and design a path for them as well. But I don't want to jump that. I want to jump into that until I'm really certain of how it's going to work.
Yeah. But it's Exact Path and Reading Eggs, and they're the same company. They're both through Edmentum. We have a great partnership with them. And anytime any parents, if you have any questions, you can always call, email me. I'm happy to help. I love the programs. I'm pretty familiar with how it all runs. So just really, now when I say sit down with your student, don't do it for them.
Yeah, please, come on.
Because that's, it's great that you want to be involved, but we need to make sure that they're learning. So be there to guide and support. But the parents that do sit with their children are very impressed with what they see.
Yeah. So next year, I think I'm safe to announce also that next year we'll have a free after-school enrichment program every day for free. But it's not after daycare, it's not daycare, it's not recess. It's a free after school program where we'll also incorporate Exact Path and Reading Eggs, and also the gardens and our outdoor naturescape to help not just hold kids at the end of the day while parents, it's not a daycare. I want to just emphasize that. So we're going to roll that out over the next few weeks to announce our free aftercare enrichment program, and Reading Eggs and Exact Path will be a real strong part of that as well. All right, any questions? I'm opening it up to questions. I see all y'all's names, so if you want to say something or ask a question, go ahead.
I have a question for you, Dr. Winsor.
Go for it.
What are you sporting right now? Look at that sweatshirt.
No, I don't have one of those.
What?
I'm vice president. Where do you get those? It's not, I don't have one.
You mean this hard type
No, I mean the shirt. We mean the shirt.
The shirt. I thought you meant the dad bod, the grandpa bod. This shirt is the new hoodie for sale at the Liberal Arts Academy. Paideia Elementary School will have, instead of the high school owl, we're going to put our elementary owl in there. I wish you could just reach through and just feel. This is so soft. I want to curl up and just have a nap in it. It's so, So they'll be for sale soon.
Oh,
And they're only like $25 million or something like that. I can't remember how much they are. I just, but he is very nice.
somebody wants to know about summer school, Dr. Winsor.
Will summer school. Okay, man. Okay. My heart wants to do summer school. And every time we try to do summer school, we open it up and kids show up for 1 hour. Parents take them. I have one kid one day, 100 kids the next day. So we're not going to do summer school this year. And another reason we're not going to is this building hasn't been tended to for 2 years. I've got to strip every floor and put 5 coats of wax back on all the floors. I got a bunch of stuff that needs to be fixed. So sorry, there won't be.
Can I say something about that? So we will be taking our benchmark in May, and I take that data at the very end of the year and dump it into ExactPath, and it's going to create brand new learning paths for them over the summer. So if they can get on ExactPath over the summer, it'll still help them catch up, get ahead, stay where they are. But you know, so it's like a tutoring program, at home.
Maricela asked the question, will you guys be putting a stop sign at the crosswalk at the liberal arts building? Cars are turning too fast. They drive around there too fast. The city of Phoenix regulate all those stop signs and things, and they wouldn't let me put one in. But you know what I can do? What I want to do, there's also a staffing shortage, is actually put a person there. You got the crosswalk guard there, and then a person to moderate the traffic coming out of the baseline building parking lot. So yeah, I feel you on that. Sometimes I'm frustrated with how the parents are, just a very small, because our community is so loving and kind, but there's a small amount of parents who just get ignorant sometimes. So summer school, exciting, this during lunch. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
And I just one more thing to add. Next year, our K-1-2 won't be using ExactPath. And it's like reading eggs, but it's called math seeds. And it's, oh my gosh,
Math seeds.
Math seeds.
Oh
like
my
the
gosh!
Garden. It's like the chickens in the garden. I know, it's so cute. But I think it's more user-friendly for the little kids, and it really draws them in. It's really cute. We did a trial period for a month, and the teachers fell in love with it and asked if we could go ahead and start it. And I'm like, yeah, not this year, because we bought ExactPath, but we are going to be adding that next year and for the younger kids. So I'm super excited about that.
And Mrs. Rodriguez asked a question, but I need to ask her back if she wants to jump in or just type it in. I got a question for you. She asked, do scholars get an opportunity to do ExactPath in computer class? That her kids mentioned that before, but it depends on the age level, right?
K through 5, it's once a week they go to the learning lab. Some of them choose to stay in their classroom and use their Chromebooks, but once a week they do. They should be having a chance to do it in the lab with the teacher or on the Chromebooks. So that's like 45-50 minutes a week to do that. So yes, ma'am. That 6th grade comes across the street, and there's only one class that gets to go to the lab, a quarter, and those kids get a lot of time. The other ones not so much. So.
Another person asked about calling the police on the traffic. Is there a way to work with the police department to regulate some of the pickup line process? Yeah. So thank you, Ms. Hobage, or Hobeshe is how I prefer to say your name because it's so cool. 7733. All right, I'm going to put in the chat box the traffic police number. I call frequently. I've asked our neighbors, our families down the street to call. And if parents can call and say, hey, some of the people be crazy at Paideia coming in and out of there and give the exact time of day. We've had the motorcycle police come over and give tickets, and I had one parent yelling at me about they got a ticket and how it's my fault. It's like, it says clearly not to park right there. So you're parked there. I'm not sure how that's my fault. But yeah, feel free, call as often as you want.
Looks like there's another question that says, when will next year calendar be out?
Oh, good question. So the calendar is it has to go through a process. And so you usually get the calendar out the last of April, because we have to go through our corporate board process of getting it approved and the State Department getting approved. But you could pretty much, there's been a pattern set over the time. We always start school on the first Monday of August. There's a pattern for October break and spring break. And so we won't change it much at all. Oh, that's for Miss McNeil. You're on that board, Ms. McNeil. So yeah, that's awesome. All right. Hey, thank you so much. We had 11 people this time. Good job, everybody. And then I always post this on our Facebook page. And so here's what I'd like to do. So coming up, we will have next week, Alan Chambers, Mr. Chambers, our outdoor education coordinator. He's going to talk a little bit about our outdoor education program, and especially announce to everybody about our nature week, the 28th of October, March through the 1st of April. And that Friday of April 1st is our first community event that we've had in 2 years. And it's going to be, we're going to plant 8 trees at Paideia. And we also have different community organizations coming to put on little outdoor workshops about different aspects of trees and nature, and a lot of activity that week. So thank you so much for everybody.
One more question popped up. Will after school programs start back up?
I think we're waiting on those cases to go down, and more vaccines.
Cases, yeah, cases will go down, vaccinations to go up, and we can do that, because I want them too.
Same. And don't forget, it's just for the safety of the scholars and the staff as well. So
yeah, exactly. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you again next week.